Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a review of this 7x9 plum paper planner. So as always, I wanted to be upfront with you guys and let you know that this particular planner was gifted to me from Plum Paper. Thank you to the Plum Paper team. I did order some other planners myself, which, guys, if you saw my Instagram, it's really a huge stack. But for today, we're just going to be looking at this one particular planner, and I might pull in some of the other sizes since I got the same layout and some different options just to kind of compare. But for the most part, let's just look at this planner. So I did make some upgrades to this planner, and I'll put all of my customizations that I chose down in the description below and the cost of those upgrades. One of those was this beautiful gold coil. It kind of reminds me of like a vintage gold because it's not super bright and shiny, but it is definitely gold. So that is kind of a newer option from Plum Paper. Previously they had only a silver coil, so I love that they're kind of changing and adding things in. Another upgrade that I got was this hardcover. This is also a fairly new option for Plum Paper. I did just want to open it up and show you that the corners of this are really well done. Everything is wrapped nice and tight, so nothing's going to come loose or snag in your bag if you're carrying it back and forth to work. This is one of their suede covers, and this is in the color Sage. You can see here that they do have the Plum Paper label on the front. And then we go into the insides. So right away, you'll see that this is a colorful option that they have. This is actually called the Plum Modern. So this is a modern colorway. They also have another colorful option and a neutral option. But this is by far my favorite color scheme from Plum Paper. And I just couldn't resist. So these tabs, you have 6 colors here from April, May, June, July, August, and September. And then they're going to repeat for the other 6 months. So you can choose to add extra months to your planner. I chose a 12-month planner starting in April. And the first page here is just your cover page that says weekly planner, personalized for you and by you, and a little space right here to write your name or other information. Your next page here is your 2023 overview, starting with a January calendar and ending in December. So even though I chose my planner to start in April, they don't adjust these mini calendars at the front, which is understandable. You do also get all of 2024. You have a special dates section, January through December. And then one of the things that I love about Plum Paper planners is that you get the same spread again, only the boxes are not labeled with the months of the year. So you could use this for really anything that you wanted. Then at the back of that, you just have this notes page. All right, let's talk about the tabbed pages. So each month is a different color. 6 of those repeat. You do get the month label down here in the corner. These are like kind of a laminate cardstock material, so they're very sturdy. These are Mylar coated tabs, so they're going to hold up just fine. And when you turn that page, you might be expecting this to go to your calendar page, but it doesn't. Plum Paper uses their page over here on the tabbed page as a dashboard page, and then a notes page for the month. When you turn the page after that, that is when you will get into your monthly calendar pages. Now you have a couple of customization options for your monthly calendar. One of those is that you can choose if it's a Monday or Sunday start. I prefer a Monday start, so that's what I did for this planner. You can also choose different sets of holidays to include, which I did as well. And then what I'm really excited about is that you can actually type in your own custom holidays or events. So I went ahead and you can see here, like on August 16th, I added my husband's birthday. That's a really awesome feature, in my opinion, is that you could go through just one time and put in birthdays, anniversaries, or special celebrations that your family celebrates, and they would be in your planner for the entire year, and you wouldn't have to take the time to write them in yourself. You'll notice that the month is up at the top left, the year is up at the top right. You have a dotted sidebar here, and the next month, the upcoming month, down here as a mini calendar. Then you're going to go into your weekly view. So they have several different, well, maybe several isn't the right word. They have lots of different layouts for you to choose from. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why I chose this specific layout. This is their ME or Me layout. And I kind of talked about in some of my other Plan With Me's that my life is just so crazy busy, and I'm trying to stay on top of things kind of by category, and this planner let me do that. So you can leave these sections completely blank if you want to write them in every week, or some weeks you want the categories and other weeks you don't. But I did choose to customize mine with sorority, PTO, church, content, work, and home. You can also customize this section here. I left it to say this week. Now, one of the things with the plum paper layout is that if it is the last week of the month or the first week of the month, you get 2 of those weekly spreads because they put them in both monthly sections. So I don't think that happens for May, but let's just take a look and see if that happens for June. So yes, actually happens, I guess, at the end of May. I was thinking the beginning. So you can see here, this is the week of May 29th, and then Thursday you roll in to June. So they give you this weekly spread at the end of May, and the May dates are in color, and then the June dates are in gray. And then the reverse of that happens if you turn over to June. The May dates are in gray, and your June dates are in the actual color for the month. This is the customization options that I chose for my weekly view. While we're here, I did want to show you the same layout in a different size. So Plum Paper has also started offering these soft bound books. They are saddle stitched, which means they are stapled for the binding. This is their largest size, and I did choose to get this in the same Me layout. These you cannot personalize and they are undated, but you can kind of see here that you still get a sidebar, and then these sections that you could label yourself. Obviously you're going to date it yourself, but the other thing is you have that on both pages here, and I only point that out because I also ordered their coil bound 8.5 by 11 in the Me layout, and this one I didn't get customized, but you can see you have this category bar over here, but then on the right hand side you do not. So that's just something to point out, depending on what size you get, I guess. The 7x9 has this on both sides. The 8.5 by 11, it appears to just have it on the left hand side. So that is another look at the Me layout in a different size option. So you will go through the entire month here with your weekly view. And then I decided to do something a little bit different. Usually when I do a planner review, I don't want the planner to be used or marked up in any way. I've kind of changed my perspective on that and thought it might be helpful to actually show how I've been using this. So you can see here for this current week, I used just my ink pen and a clean color dot marker, and that's working out just fine. However, I did start playing with some stickers, and you can see here that some of the Planner Kate stickers, the thing to note is that these columns are not 1.5 inches wide. So you can see there is just a little bit of overhang on these if you use traditional stickers. If you're going to use like a checklist, obviously that's not going to matter. But anything that you're kind of worried about the width, this doesn't bother me, but I know it might bother some people. You can see here, this really goes from edge to edge. I centered that one as much as I could. So I did want to point that out, but I think you could do stickers or no stickers depending on what you prefer. Okay, let's talk about this dashboard page. So I pointed out that these tabbed pages are like a laminate cardstock. So the back of that, they didn't put any different type of material on this side. So if you're gonna write on this, you're gonna want probably a permanent marker, or you can use stickers. So that's what I did. I just put a full page sticker on this month of May. I think this is gorgeous. I love this Planner Kate kit with the plaid against that mustard color of May. And I did use a dashboard over here on the opposite side. So this is what it would look like if you used just ink pen and didn't cover it, or you can choose to add some stickers, obviously. Whatever floats your boat. Let's also talk about paper quality while we are here. Plum paper does use Mohawk paper. It is a 70-pound text weight paper that's bleed resistant and has minimal shadowing. I've been using my typical gel ink pens. I prefer gel ink pens. I've been using the Sarasa 0.5. And let me just get back to this page where I just had just ink and the markers. You can see there's no bleed through. Even with my studio lighting on, which really brightens things up, you still can't see any shadowing through that page. So if you use a gel ink pen, you're gonna be fine. And it doesn't really smear either. I haven't had any issues with having to wait for drying time with my gel pens, which is a plus in my opinion, because I am not always the most patient person in the world. I like to write and keep writing and not going to worry about where my hand is on the paper. The other thing you can do as far as customization goes is add different pages dispersed throughout the month. So for me, I really needed a couple of graph pages. So you have your dashboard, your notes page, your month page, all your weeks. And then at the end, you have another lined page that has the month. And then I chose to have 2 graph pages dispersed. So every single month has these 2 graph pages because that's how I chose to do it. However, they have all different sorts of pages that you can have dispersed. They have student pages, teacher pages, home pages, budgeting pages, basically anything that you can think of. So that's one of the nice things about Plum paper is that you can add these extra pages to each month in your book and, you know, makes it personalized, which will probably mean that it will make you more efficient in your planning because it's customized specifically for your own needs. Now, that's all that I chose to add to each month being dispersed. Let me just flip through these colors real quick before I go to the back of the book. So your first color is kind of this peach. Your second color is a beautiful mustard color. I love that. Kind of a denim blue, a navy blue, a teal, aqua, and a mint. And then those are going to repeat for your next 6 tabs. So this planner ends in March since I started with April. And so we'll get all the way through those months. Still have my 2 graph pages that I had dispersed for each month. Then you can add customized pages to the back of your book, which could be tabbed. So again, I really just love a nice graph. So I added a whole section of graph paper. Those will be tabbed with the letter down here. So this says graph on the tab. And then you get a whole set of whatever page you choose, more or less. And then it will tell you when you've ran out of room on your coil, so it won't let you add more than can fit on the actual binding. You can go online and play around with that. So those graph pages are a customization I added to the back of my book. And then every book has this dot grid at the back. So this is not an add-on. You get 2 pages of dot grid, followed by my contacts page, passwords page, and then you end on your 2025 mini calendar overview. You do get a double-sided pocket. These are nice and deep. Same on both sides, nice sturdy material. And then I chose one last customization, which is this sheet protector. So you can add 1, 2, or 3. I think that's the maximum amount. But I've just been putting papers back here that I need to reference often, so I don't want to pull them out of my pocket. I just want to flip to the back and be able to see that information in the pocket, if that makes sense. Okay guys, that is a look at the plum paper me layout in the 7x9 size with some of those customizations. I've been smitten with this planner so far, and I haven't even had it that long. So if you guys have questions about this particular planner that I didn't cover, please feel free to drop a comment below and I will try to find an answer for you. Thanks for joining me today for another planner review, and I will see you back on my next video.